Hello everyone. The third template is the resource template. This template structure is similar to the others. The instruction sheet has the same basic format: details of the tab, the definition of the tabs, and any prerequisites. In this case, you can see the login user template is a prerequisite for the resource template. I will show you how that works. Then there are instructions for the template, how to fill it out, and the validation section. The first sheet is resource type. In this sheet, we can create different types of resources, which we can later map to a specific resource. This type is used to segregate technicians, our staff, or our workforce. If we have different kinds of workforce, like engineers or field staff, we can segregate them based on this resource type. If we have a resource type code we want to provide, we can. Otherwise, we can skip it. Then there's the name of the resource type. In this case, for example, I've created two, one for engineer and one for field staff. Then there's a short description. If there's any description we want to provide, we can do so. This important field is time slot. The time slot will be used in field service. For example, if you want to define that this resource type will only work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., we can provide the time slot. If the time slot is applicable to this resource type, we have to provide the value, like 9 to 18. This will let us know that this resource type will work only between these timings. We cannot assign tasks to this particular resource beyond or before these timings. To manage that, we've provided this time slot option. If we don't want to use it, we can simply keep it as N. Then these values are not required. Then there's day slot. Similarly, if we want to restrict the scheduling of tasks to resources based on certain days, like this resource type should not be allowed to work on Sundays or Mondays, we can mark it Y. Then we have to define which days this particular resource type is allowed to work. For example, Monday, yes. Tuesday, yes. Wednesday, yes. Thursday, let's keep it N. Friday, N. Saturday, yes. And Sunday, yes. Now you can see there are 2 days in the week, Thursday and Friday, when this particular resource type cannot work. Whenever you're creating schedules and assigning tasks to resources, you will not be able to schedule these tasks on Thursday and Friday for these resources. This is the use of this day slot. If you don't want to use this, you can keep it as N. By keeping it as N, the system will consider 7 days a week. Similarly, if you're keeping N for the time slot, the system will consider 24 hours for that particular resource type. If you want to manage it, you can select it. Otherwise, you can keep it blank. The next template is mobile warehouse. A mobile warehouse is a warehouse that will be used by the resource. Whenever your technician goes to a site to repair something, he carries spare parts with him. That's basically his warehouse. We call that a mobile warehouse. What we have to do is provide the details of that warehouse. The name of the warehouse depends on the organization's policies, how you're managing inventories in your organization. If you're not using a mobile warehouse, because your organization is small and you only want to consider one warehouse, you can skip it. You don't have to provide values in this template. This is a yellow template. Yellow means it's not a mandatory template. You can skip filling out all the details in this template. If you have the details, that's very good. Then we can use this application with its full potential. Otherwise, you can skip this template. The red templates are mandatory. You have to provide values in each and every red sheet. For the mobile warehouse organization, we need the warehouse code, for example, John WH, then the mobile warehouse name. This warehouse name will be used because John is an employee, John is a resource. We're providing the values in John warehouse. Later on, whenever John travels, all the inventory will be reduced from John's warehouse only. The system will consider this warehouse only. Then the address lines, you can provide the address for this warehouse, which will be saved in the system. Address fields are pretty much the same for each template. Then the source warehouse. For each mobile warehouse, there should be a source warehouse. The recommended warehouse should be the main warehouse, from where this source warehouse will collect or get the material. If we have a main warehouse available, we can provide the value from that particular warehouse, like in this next template where we're maintaining the warehouse, the main warehouse. We can put that value in this warehouse. This way, whenever the spare parts are depleted with John, he can take that material from the source warehouse with automatic requisition generation. Basically, this mobile warehouse is used in a way you can understand. If any resource has his own vehicle or a van in which he travels to a customer's site and does the work, in that van he carries the spare parts, his tools, and other material that he might need to work on that particular site. We are considering that a warehouse. The next one is the main warehouse where we're keeping all our inventory. In this organization, the warehouse code should be unique. Then the warehouse name, you can provide any name here. Then the address of the warehouse. Address fields are pretty much the same in each sheet. There are 3 lines for the address. You can provide it in one, or you can provide it in all 3. The city name is mandatory, as are the zip code and the country name. Then the next template is resources. This is a very important template for us. We have to provide how many resources are available in our organization. Here, we can provide the details of the resources. In order to provide the details, we first have the organization name. The source code, if you don't have a value, you can keep it blank. If you want some specific resource codes, you can provide the value. Otherwise, the system will create these resource codes automatically. Then the resource name. You can provide the value. A short description, if you want to provide one. For each resource, you have to select the resource type. You can select it from the drop-down, which resource type you want to consider for it. For John Doe, let's say he's an engineer. You can change it. The value will come only from this resource type. If you're maintaining more data in this, it'll show on this resource here. The next field, the column map, is the mobile warehouse. If you've mapped a mobile warehouse against the resource, you can do so. In this case, John's warehouse. If you want to do it, otherwise, you can keep it blank. It's not a mandatory field, as you can see. It's a blank value. You can skip it. In this case, let's keep it. Then the user contact. This is a very important field, user or contact. In this field, we're mapping the users that we've created in the user template. We're mapping that with the resources. This will be used to log in to the mobile application. Let's open the login user template once again. The data source. You can read it in this resource template. The data source will be the login user, and the field will be employee code. Let's go to that template. This is the login user template. This is the name of the user and the user ID. Let's check the user contact employee code. This is the field employee code. For John Doe, you can check. This is the employee code. We're selecting this and mapping it here in the employee code in the resource template. This way, this resource will be able to log into the mobile application. Then there's resource tracking. There are 3 options: don't track, travel start and end, and while using the mobile application. Whenever your technician is using the mobile application that we're providing, it's up to you. If you want to track his location, if you want to monitor it. If you don't want to monitor it, you can simply select don't track. It will not send any GPS coordinates back to the system. If you're selecting travel start and end, it will send the location of the user when he's starting the travel and when he's finishing the travel. If you're selecting the third option, while using the mobile application, it will send his location every 10 minutes when he's using the mobile application. This way, we can use this resource tracking. By default, it will be don't track. If you want to change this from the drop-down, you can change this option. The next template is resource product. It's a yellow template. It's not mandatory, but I'll still explain it. In any use case, in any organization, one resource can do multiple jobs. He could be an engineer, a specialist in some area, an electrician, or a mechatronics engineer. If you want to charge different customers for that resource based on the job he's performing, we can create those products in our system. In this case, if you can see, Oliver has 4 job roles that we've provided to him: field engineer, technician, electrician, and specialist. Let's suppose there are 4 different customers. We can charge 4 different customers different values based on the job done by this technician. For example, if Oliver is going to customer X, we can charge him based on the per hour rate. The per hour rate will be 890. This will be the per hour rate. If we're sending him as a technician, we can charge him 790. If we're sending him as an electrician, we can charge him accordingly. These are the prices we can provide. After configuring, the invoice will be generated based on this pricing only. To fill out this template, you provide the organization. You can provide the resource name. It will come from this template already. You have to select it from the drop-down. Then the product name, you will provide it, and it will automatically create that product in the system. Basically, this is a resource type product. The type of use, you can provide it like engineer, technician, specialist, functional consultant, or maybe a mechanical engineer. You can provide all of that against one. You can select other resources also. If it's John Doe, a specialist, you can select it like that. Suppose if he performs some activity, you can charge him as a specialist only in this case for $900, whatever currency you're using, per hour. This is the tax category. You have to map the tax category to it also. For tax category mapping, you have to use the tax category template that we explained at first. You have to set that category. In the template, you have to use the tax category, and the rate worksheet is the tax category field. You have to use a name, the same name you can use here. This way, this will be mapped and saved into your price list also. This template will do two important things. First, it will create the resource type products in the system, whatever you provide here. That will be created in the product master as a resource type. Secondly, it will put an entry into the price list with this value and with this tax category. It will be saved in the product master, and this value will be saved in the price list. This is how, whenever we upload it, this is how it will work. I hope this is clear to everyone.